UFOs and stuff. Just look at this. Just look at it for a moment. I just popped out of the bed. So I was looking at this video from my phone. When I look on my phone, I don't see any comments, but I come here and I see the last comments like 5 hours ago. Um, Daisy Day? Daisy Day, honey, you said, um, you was taken, I guess, abduction, and something was stuck in your ear. And no, it sends me messages. Oh no, see that person's, you're going to get yourself, this person right here is going to get yourself blocked. Look at this. Oh, it's a bunch of malarkey. I want you to come on here, JL, so I can block you. You don't want to believe that there are things that are implanted in people's body. Is that what it is? You don't want to believe it? You need to turn down the old hearing aid because they're filling your head with a bunch of malarkey. Well, obviously, I want you to come on here so I can physically block you. I want to ring my bell. This right here, it wasn't a rib that they took. Remember last night we was talking about Eve right here in the Garden of Eden. First we talked about a dome is what we talked about. And then the dome that was around the earth because it was like molten glass, molten hardened glass, and they referred to the expanse that God created. And it was it was a solid support structure when we looked it up in these big dictionaries right here, these massive dictionaries. And it also described it in some versions in the Garden of Eden when he built the heavens and the expanse that stops the water from above from getting in the water below to separate them. It was a structure, and it was like a hardened looking glass. Oh, we went all over the place. That was a really good video. Which one was that? Let me see this. Let me see which one that was. It was, I did several videos last night. It was this one right here. Oh, it was a really good one. You can see that they have literally stopped the traffic flow to that. That's only stuck at 3.6. They've stopped that traffic flow. The earth was a mirror cast in bronze. Good morning. Um, okay, I'm gonna look at that. A mirror cast in bronze. And back in the old days, they used polished bronze for mirrors, but that was described in a lot of different versions over what happened with the expanse in the sky. And it would kind of support the flat plane with a snow globe over top of it. And or it could even be, well, I don't know if it's the other thing. Let me look at this. I'm pretty sure they stopped the traffic. Yeah, they stopped the traffic completely to this channel 9 hours ago. This was a very, very interesting video right here. The Earth mirror of cast bronze right there. It's very interesting, but as you can see, they stopped the traffic to that because that's 5 hours ago. But this one right here, let's see what they did to this one. They probably stopped the traffic to the Eve. Let's see how long ago that was. Oh, 37 minutes ago, we got Molly. So this is getting some traffic. But the dome around the earth, they don't want us talking about that. That's a given. Let me get it over here. You're just tuning in. Good morning. And this right here, let me flip this over. That right there, that Adam was put in a deep sleep. Hey, Applebrooks. Adam was put in a deep sleep. Like, kind of like when you go into surgery, before you go, you have anesthesia administered to you. And then the surgery is performed and then your flesh is closed up. That's the same thing that was described in the book of Genesis about Adam in the first chapter or the second chapter. I can't remember which one it was. That's when, yeah, it was second chapter. It was described that God caused Adam to fall into a deep sleep and took one of his ribs and then closed back up the flesh, made Eve out of it, and it's the only instance in what did it say? Ancient Near Eastern history of the account of when woman was made. Just that little bitty thing, and it had to be DNA because they can take the DNA that finds of woolly mammoths and stuff like that. They can take the bone fragments and they can create. They can genetically create with the technology that they have. But look at someone wrote around here. This is really interesting. I went down in this comment right here. Applebrooks, honey, let me know if I get up close. Good morning, everyone. If I didn't say it, good morning. I just popped out of the bed. Right down here. Yeah, I started falling asleep watching that. It was really interesting. It was. I never heard of that person. Oh. Okay, am I any better? Is it zoomed up anymore? Hello, Frank, honey. I don't know how that happened, but yeah, I don't know if it happened like that. Let me see. Is this, am I still too close on here? I'm trying to see if I am. Now I gotta wait a minute. Okay, I'm good. Right here, this is an interesting video, and I've never heard of that, but this was an interesting comment down here. Hold a second, because there was, wait a second. I'm gonna block you when I get the chance because you said we talking a bunch of monarchy. Oh, we're just fine, thank you, Frank, honey. The great healer, the great healer. Somebody said, why do you speak in the third person, Gina? I say I like to. I like to at times. I've never been one of those to use the word I the majority of the time. I like to use the word we. And if I speak in the third person, sometimes I want to look at Dark Moon Goddess, Dark Goddess. She is a three person, me, myself, and I. I like that comment. You pasted down me, myself, and I, Dorothy says. You all, there was a comment in here that I wanted to read. Oh, yeah, right here. Get this. Adam, they've already erased it. Adam was the eighth day to take care of the Garden of Eden. He wasn't flesh until the fall. Okay, right. No. They have automatically, I believe they've automatically, they've just removed the comment that I saw on here about Adam's rib. They said it really wasn't a rib, it was a helix DNA structure. The helix of the DNA. Helix DNA that was taken from Adam. Let me get it. Right there. That's how this one pastor explained it. And it does make sense. A double helix. A double helix structure that was taken. Because it felt, reading the scripture, it felt like Adam was going into surgery and he was under anesthesia. And just like the aliens do, how if you get abducted, you have no memory of it. None. You may end up with marks on your body or something, but you don't got no memory and you can't explain why. Some people, if you're lucky, you have some kind of fragment of a memory. But the deep sleep that occurs is one like that of having anesthesia, or if you're being abducted by an alien. Gina, that sounds really weird. I was taught that it was his rib. That's right, Frank. But we have to think of the day and age that we live in and what we know about genetics now. And if you tie in the aliens, the what are not supposed to exist, the supernatural, the interdimensional, the unseen, how all these people have memories, they have recollections of a big light coming toward them. And some people remember Eisenhower made the deal with these beings that they could do experiments on the humans in exchange for the technology. If you could tie that in somehow with Adam falling into it, caused him to fall into a deep sleep. And then the other reference to a deep sleep was in 1 Samuel chapter 26, how something about Saul and whoever he was, and God caused them to fall into a deep sleep, the men there, very, very deep sleep. Some kind of battle or something was taking place. Um, that's right, Teardrop. Um, can you not prove it? Can you not prove that that did not happen? Can you not? That's the thing. It is another theory that's out there, and you'd have to disprove it. And I do not believe in my human being body that that can be disproven at all, because none of us were there. But with the advancement in genetics that we have nowadays, that technology, that knowledge came from somewhere. It truly did. And they can do all kind, they can do designer babies. They can take part of a DNA. They can take a DNA and they can create beings. They can tell everything about you. It's your genetic written code. Look at that. It cannot be disproven. I believe that. Could you imagine if you're reading the story, the creation story of in the book of Genesis, and you're trying to tell and you're trying to give an account of what actually happened? Could you imagine if we were reading it? By the way, we took some DNA. We wouldn't even know what DNA was. If you think how old the Bible is, a person would have said, "I don't know what you're talking about. DNA? You took some kind of DNA from his body, and she just appeared." And this is the only, there's a great big gap. It's the only instance of the creation in the Bible of Eve. There is a massive gap of data. There's nothing else there. It's more believable if a person would physically take a physical, say, object out of a being, person, and then boom, create. It would, but to say DNA, you think, how are they going to do that? I can see where that would fit in there. Yeah. Um, yeah, let me help you out. No, no, let me help you. No, see, you wanna argue. The Bible doesn't contain the absolute, all the ancient manuscripts, any other history. It has to correlate with the Bible. You can't just use the Bible and push out any of these all these discoveries that have been made, like the Sumerian tablets and stuff. It all coincides. They found references, even the Noah's Ark and all of that. It can be tied back to the Bible too. And they've got stuff out there hidden somewhere that they did not put in that Bible. Why do we got the Ethiopian Bible? Why did the Pope, ask yourself, why did the Pope, not the Pope, King James exclude certain books from the Bible? Pick and chose, and he rewrote them. You know, he was a master in the dark arts. Truly, he was a master in it. All of it. But the Ethiopian Bible, they chose which books they wanted and which books they didn't. To say that none of these books none of these existed. The Estratus, Tobit, Judah, Baruch, all of these right here. You can't say that these did not exist. You can't. The giants came from somewhere. They came from somewhere. Oh, well, they were the angels that were cast down. Okay, but there was more history tied to them according to the history that is found on earth that has been hidden. All of that. If they were the only two humans on the planet, who did they go out and mate with? Exactly, Frank Honey. Who? The Bible doesn't say that, but Cain himself, he had a mark placed on his head. So when he left the Garden of Eden, right? Or left that area, that when he left, those who were out there would not kill him. So he had a mark on his head so they wouldn't kill him. And he has a big history, ancestral line also. So not everything, absolutely every finite detail is in that Bible. It's not. It's just like if you're talking to me and you could know me all your life, you don't have every finite detail of me. You don't, because all you know is what's came out of my mouth. Personally, overhearing it, you wouldn't know everything that's I know on the inside of me and how I feel and all of that. You're not going to know all the fine details, right down to the fine details, like science does, right down to the fine details. It was messed up. It was left out. I believe this is, and if you look at the Anunnaki, wait a minute, I've got it right here. I got a picture of it in my screenshots. Let me get down to the very bottom. If you think of the Anunnaki, they call the Anunnaki the creator gods, and I'm not dismissing God at all. I'm not. Where were some of these pictures? Oh no, they got disappeared off here. That's about right. I had pictures of them on here, and they literally have gotten disappeared. And I didn't do it. That's strange. They're gone. They were always at the bottom. It's all right. It's fine. Just like hollow earth is not. Hollow earth is a theory. And in the book of Genesis, it talks about the earth is iron. Iron. And the dome, more or less, that was put over the earth, it physically says the word iron. And we talk about an iron ball inside the earth. Now the Anunnaki. How are we doing over here? All the knowledge we need is in the 13-mile. That's exactly right, Birdman. And we did a video on that on this YouTube channel. 13 miles underground, underneath the Vatican. Where's that video? Thank you for bringing that back up. Let me open this up in a new tab. I'm going to find it. 13 miles underground. Let's find this 13 miles, if they'll even pull it up on here. They're hiding it from the people. I can't get it, but you're right. 13 miles. It was in a live video. 13 miles of books under. It's the archives. How many miles of books? Why does the Vatican have all these books? It's 53 miles of shelving. 53. The Vatican Apostolic Archive has been estimated to contain 85 kilometers, 53 miles of shelving with 35,000 volumes in the selective catalogs alone. They got the history hidden underneath them. Why do they need that? Why do they need that like that? Why do they need all of that knowledge underneath there? Oh, see, well, see, you don't gonna tell me what to do. If I want to jump all over the place, if I want to get up and jump up and down in my studio, I'll do it. You're not going to tell me what to do. If I want to reference something that someone else says, that's what they do. When you write a book, you put down all the references that you use to cite what you did. No, Adam, it very well could have been a DNA. It truly could have been. And it does make sense. The Anunnaki. DNA. The DNA. Look at this. I'm not seeing this one. I'm trying to find that specific, right here. Look at this tree right there. Look at that also. There is an Anunnaki connection, the Sumerian gods, alien DNA, and the fate of humanity. I really do. From Eden to Armageddon, there's something going on. I'm not saying that God isn't God, because God hears prayers. I pray to God, and my prayers are heard. And then you have to think about the matrix too. How does that work? Yeah. It would make the Pope irrelevant if we found out the Anunnaki tree of life. Bones Jones, that's right. The Anunnaki tree of life and the medical staff. I think we did one like that before. The medical staff. Let me do this. They got snakes on them, though. They do. The medical, see it right there? They got snakes. It's also this, the symbol of a snap with stakes coiled around it is the caduceus, used in medically symbol, especially in Hermes, symbol of Hermes, the Greek messenger of the god, is not the original medical symbol. So we look at that. See the wings right there? And see the wings up there? Yeah, it's got the wings. See, look at this. There's something going on, and there is a lot that, see, look, the DNA strand. You may not eat. Two forbidden trees. Yeah, it was a knowledge. Oh, knowledge of good and evil. Can't remember what the other one was. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in this, the Garden of Eden, but the rib, it wasn't an actual rib. This pastor said it was actually DNA, and that's what it sounded like last night when we was talking genetic engineering. It was genetics, and that's how he was able to do that. It doesn't still, make God irrelevant. It doesn't. It doesn't make God irrelevant in my eyes. It doesn't. You say, well, Gina, you're clinging to religion. No, I'm not. I'm a very spiritual person, and I like to explore all areas. Just because a person expresses interest in, what is written and what is not written in the Bible, doesn't mean that it's, no, you see, you want to label, but this is no. Crystal Links and Nibiru. See this. I'm pretty sure I'm friends on the Facebook with the lady who owns this website right here. Crystal Links. There's something going on. And for some, if you are a person who's watching this, to if all you read is the Bible, and if it's not in the Bible, you're not even going to, yes, Bigfoot exists. If it's not in the Bible, you will reject everything outside of it. That's fine. But there is more than what's written in the Bible of this history of the humans and of Earth. There's a lot more. And remember who wrote that Bible, King James. And he was, well, I'm sorry, he was into the dark arts. He was. And he decided what books he were going to put in that Bible. The authorized king, the King James, he's the one who authorized which books go in there and which books don't. And it's like the forbidden books of the Bible. Why are they forbidden? Why does the Pope have 53 miles of bookshelves with all kinds of books? All kinds. What's in them? And why isn't anybody allowed in certain areas? Why can't people go down there? They don't want them. You know what they said concerning the aliens? When people wanted to go, the scientists or whoever they are, wanted to go and look in some of the vaults. There is no proof that aliens exist. They want to say, let us go to the books. Let us read the books, the manuscripts. They totally dismissed it. Totally. There is no proof. They don't want people to know. They don't. Yeah. Well, I think it's good to have all kinds of Bibles. I really do. That way you can search each one and see how they're each worded, what's in some and what isn't. I really do. It's, I got lots of kinds, and so does that a lot of other people. And this ain't the only religion in the world. There's all kinds of religions and subsets of religions and branches off of religions. There's like a DNA, an ancestral tree of religion, more or less, just like your ancestral tree of you. Um, yeah, Adam's DNA that was formed Eve. It is. It makes sense now, knowing the advancements in genetic engineering, because it's literally increasing. They can make designer babies with just a strand, just the DNA. They broke the code. They got it. They got the code, the genetic coding. Um, they can tell everything about you through your DNA. Um, the Galactic Federation of Light. Well, let's say when I started in 2018, that was pretty much a big emphasis by a lot of people following this channel, because I took pictures of the ships in the sky, long white ships that appeared. That's how I came on here. I was looking up here at the ceiling of all the documentation. And just because this ain't in the Bible doesn't mean it doesn't exist, because we're in the physical world where this is existing. All of this stuff up here. Okay, it is. So the Galactic Federation, they said it's not the Galactic Federation of Light, it's the Galactic Federation of Worlds now. Guess. There's something going on, some kind of space wars. Let's see. That's okay. Second Baruch. Yeah, tribulation, consummation. Um, I look like your teacher. Well, I am a teacher. Yeah, and I was heavily involved in my children's education while they were in school, and other children, and then I homeschooled my children. Yeah, the dark room light source, the only space that is that which is in between us. I would say there's lots more. That it depends on how you going to try to explain it away. Are you talking about the other dimensions beyond this dimension? Are you talking about what Al Honey said? We are a universe, but there is a multiverse also. Yeah. My name is Gina Maria Colvin Hill. That is my full name. That's the only names that are associated with me. That's my name. Yeah. Um, Esoterically, yeah, that's great. So there is Adam. It was more than a rib. He went into a deep sleep. And when you go into a deep sleep, when you're going in to have surgery, well, and if you're getting abducted by aliens, because there's lots of abductions, you must go into a deep sleep. And a lot of people, when they go into their deep sleep, they have very, very, very vivid dreams, and they astral travel too during that time. And who was it? Jacob wrestled with an angel all night. And it is said that, and the angel grabbed, was it him who, the angel grabbed the thigh of Jacob, and he had an indentation in his upper right thigh. Jacob wrestled with an angel. Yeah, he wrestles with a mysterious man. See, now, in some instances, it said an angel, but they say a mysterious man while he was asleep. While he was asleep. And the name asked the man, which let's just say it was an angel, because that's the biblical reference, in his dream state. Asked Jacob, he says, your name will no longer be Jacob, but Israel, because you have struggled with God and with humans and have overcome. It says in the book of Genesis, the story of Jacob wrestling with God is told in Genesis 32, 22, 31. The story is said to represent the difficulty reaching transcendence and understanding, and the ideal that even in victory one may still be wounded. The new name, Israel, is said to reflect Jacob's struggle and the destiny of an entire people. Look, the angel in question is referred to a man and God, while Hosea references an angel. Okay, it is described as an angel, but was he the one who had his thigh? The angel grabbed his thigh, grabbed Jacob's thigh and there was an indentation. Let me see if that was in there. Yeah, you got a dislocated hip. Okay. The man in the Bible who wrestled with Jacob, the dislocated hip. Look, Jacob realized that his opponent was divine and asked for a blessing, and the stranger insisted that Jacob identify himself. Jacob would not let the stranger go, the angel go at all. He was preparing to meet his brother Esau when he was attacked by a mysterious stranger in the dark. The two wrestled for the most of the night, and the stranger gained the upper hand by dislocating Jacob's hip. It happened in his dream state, is when it happened. In his dream state, there was an instance in the early part of, where was it? Can't remember, something we was reading last night. It was when someone, was it Abraham or somebody, fell into a very, very dark and horrific sleep, deep, deep sleep. Sounds like a form of technology, esoteric. Yeah. Um, Grand Rising, Jacob's Ladder. Yeah, Jacob's Ladder. Jacob's Ladder. Isn't that like the DNA? Is that Jacob's Ladder, the DNA? The Because it looks like that. Jacob's Ladder DNA. Let's see. Yeah, it's right here. It's a Gnostic, and they don't want you to hear about the Gnostic. The structure of DNA and Jacob's ladder from the Bible are often compared because of their similar shapes and the ideal of a connection between heaven and earth. Well, there is a heaven and earth. The deoxyribonucleic acid and DNA resemble a long spiraling ladder. The sides of the ladder are made up of sugar phosphate backbone formed from combinations of atoms like carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and phosphorus. In the Bible, Jacob's ladder is a ladder that reaches from ground to heaven, kind of like the Tower of Babel, I guess. It symbolizes the connection between God and the earthly realm. And the dream Jacob had was meant to remind him of God's graces. So Jacob literally did. He was in his dream state, a very, very deep sleep is what happened. And then he had the struggle with the angel. Yeah. Um, oh, oh my goodness gracious. There's a lot of unknowns in this world, and that's not what we're talking about, but you could say it is. But there's a lot of all kinds of theories out there, all kinds of different types of evidence that are part of the big puzzle of this life, the big picture. You got all these different pieces of the puzzle scattered all over the earth, some hidden, some purposely destroyed, mud floods. Everything is hidden. It's hidden, more or less. They don't want you to know about it. And I believe really underneath that big Vatican thing is where the bulk of it's at. Yeah. We already did the cubes. We've done the cubes. We have a big cube playlist on this channel. I've been on here 6 years now. We have a big cubes playlist, and we talked a lot about the cubes. Yeah. Um, Good morning. I am going to go. I think I'm going to go downstairs and make my cup of hot green tea with some fresh squeezed lemon and some Manuka honey. I'm going to sit in front of the fireplace, but um, Adam fallen in a deep sleep and a rib is removed. That is the biblical account. Um, and it would be really hard if they were tried to explain it to us in a different way, speaking from a geneticist point of view. How are you going to get a story out there, more or less, a biblical account, if you don't put it in something that people would find interesting to read? I don't think you would. Because let's face it, genetics, you want to talk genetics, that's very boring if you talk in scientific terms. Could you imagine if that was the Bible? This is the scientific documentation, right down to the finite details of how everything happened. Well, it's going to be way over our heads. It is way over it, but it's okay. There's a time to wake up. There is. There's a time to be asleep, and there's a time to awake. So I'm going to go. And with that being said, thank you, Apple Brooks. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world, agnostic. The Book of Enoch, we got that. We have a whole playlist on here, the Book of Enoch. I read it. Hello, wherever you are in any part of the world. Hello, from my heart to yours. Love you. Have a wonderful rest of your, yeah, color. That could be too true, Sasha Mean. We don't know everything. We don't. We know that there's been a lot of things that have been distorted, a lot of things that have been changed. There's a certain narrative, but I believe that it's all, I believe that there is hope. There is hope that can be found in the Bible. There truly is. There's hope that can be found in God, and there's hope in the supernatural. There's hope that lives on the inside of each and every one of us. We got a light. We're connected. We truly are. We got a spirit. Have a wonderful rest of your morning. Sorry